Let's talk about another Chaminade superstar who has verbally committed to Miami, and that's Josiah JoJo Trader. And I've been itching, Blue, to get your scouting report on Trader ever since he verbally committed to Miami late last week, because when I watch this young man, he makes circus catches look ordinary. I mean, just tremendous job tracking footballs, and he's got that speed and explosiveness. You've watched him up close in person
Yeah.
more than I've ever dreamed of watching him. So what do you see in JoJo Trader?
Yeah, different level kid. I mean, different level athlete. I mean, let's go back. If you remember, I mean, people don't realize, but look at the freshman year that Monsignor Pace had. They had Josiah Trader and oh, by the way, the number one receiver in the country. At both wide receivers, you had Vincent Shavers, you had Armando Posse, you had all these guys on one team. Then he goes to Central for his sophomore year. And if a lot of people remember him as, a kid that caught some balls, but they also remember that he played one defensive play in the entire state championship, and it was a pick that he ran back 93 yards. So this is a kid who's just, I mean, he's this year's Francis Mauigoa. He's Miami's big time recruit. He's as good as Miami's recruited at this position a long while. Difference maker from day one. I mean, he makes the big catches. He's in there. He's that guy. He's Rambo. He's guys that'll come into the huddle and say, "Hey, you know what? I could beat this guy. Get it to me." And that's what they've been lacking. But just a great athlete. And a good dude too. That's a good team kid. He'll definitely fit in extremely well on the team. And that's what Miami likes to do too. Remember, they not only get great kids, but because of Mario's experience with dealing with kids who could, who could run a 4.4, but also are not very good in the locker room. You have to weed those kids out because there's, and he's definitely, I mean, just a prize recruit, no doubt. Artavius Jones, I was kind of privy to him as an 8th and 9th grader out of Blountstown. First player Miami ever got out of Blountstown. So.
I wasn't sure about that. And it's funny. That doesn't surprise me because when I saw Blountstown, Florida, I had no idea what that was. Like when I learned about it because of Artavius.
I have heard that. Yeah. Alex, I've heard that 20 times in the last week. Talking to our friend Vish, he says that, I had to Google it. And because I told him, I says, I think they have a Burger King. And he said, you know what? He says to me, he texted me the other day. He goes, you were right. They do have a Burger King.
Well, so, and I didn't know Milton before last year when Miami got Emery Williams out of there. But you knew Milton.
Milton is New York City compared to Blountstown. I mean, you're Blountstown is a stoplight, and if you miss it on the highway, it's just to the west of Tallahassee, but in a different time zone. And certainly, that. And everyone goes, well, they don't play. Yeah, they play teams. I mean, they play Panama City, Rutherford, and they, but then they also play Liberty County and Weewahitchka and Chipley and schools like that. But big time kid, and their coach back in the day, 4 years ago, when he told me, he says, Larry, I'll tell you what. Because I saw him for the first time. They were in the state championship game, I think, his sophomore year. But he said to me, I'll tell you right now, this kid could be the best player we've ever had. He's one of them. He's a smart kid. He's big. He's a worker. He never slacks. He said he's a leader right now at 15 years old. So what is he going to be when he's a senior? So I'll tell you what, Miami got another prize catch, and a lot of people don't even have a clue about it. And if they say they do, they're not. They're not right, because this is a guy that really virtually came out of nowhere from the standpoint of a Miami fan. But if you lived in that Panhandle area or in the Big Bend area, Tallahassee, you knew who he was.